Your Excellencies, Your Eminence, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Foundation's Board of Directors and all of our colleagues from the Foundation's 3 offices, most of whom are here today, we would like to welcome you to the 3rd Annual Stavros Niarchos Foundation International Conference on Philanthropy. We are very happy to see many familiar faces and delighted to meet and welcome so many new ones. This conference would not have been possible without the tireless efforts of our colleagues, especially Lenia, who has graciously spent dozens of sleepless nights organizing this conference, exchanging emails with most of you in the room, taking care of all the relevant arrangements that needed to be made in order to ensure that your conference experience was an absolutely positive one. Special thanks also belong to Titika Emanuel for taking care of all logistical details, including every participant's and attendee's travel and accommodation arrangements, meals, and so on. Many thanks also to Asimina Koutrouboussi for this wonderful setup and for the conference's design details as a whole. To Thanasis Politis and Nikos Gialias for taking care of all technical and IT-related matters. To Ioanna Giose for making sure your arrival and registration goes smoothly and that all of you avoid encountering any delays. Unfortunately, but fortunately on the other hand, there are many of us here today, so you had some slight delays in the registration, but we hope we will overcome this negative experience. Thank you to Yannis Solomakos for addressing all the issues that relate to everyone's safety, to Amalia Delikari for all her help with numerous challenges, and to all colleagues in the Programs Department and our interns for joining us in this effort all the way. Us two here on this stage is becoming sort of a customary thing, and those of you honoring us with your presence year after year might have noticed. Stelios and I are, in a way, like Harry Potter and Hermione.
Oh boy, am I Hermione or Harry Potter?
You usually wear glasses.
Okay.
Harry Potter does his magic and keeps us out of trouble, at least most of the times. And I have learned to trust him completely because he has proven so many times that he's a person and a professional that I can count on. So this conference would not have been possible without Stelios' broad and deep knowledge and understanding of so many complex issues, which allow us every year to build what we hope is a challenging agenda. I thank him for this and for all the good spells he knows to cast. During the next couple of days, we will meet in a number of plenary as well as breakout sessions. Since one of our goals is to try to improve ourselves as well as this conference year after year, we have made an effort to make our various sessions more interactive and, why not, more fun. In the process, we really hope that you will participate in many of the discussions and that you will enlighten us with your valuable input on several matters that are very important to us and our peers. In selecting the focus areas of the International Conference each year, the Foundation aims not only to examine the changing role and increased importance of philanthropy in the current global context, and to discuss and analyze the critical issues that have become an integral part of everyone's work, both on the giving and on the receiving side of it, but also to debate and understand better a number of issues that directly relate to some of the Stavros Niarchos Foundation's ongoing projects. This year could not be any different from the previous years in that respect. The first day of the conference continues on the path of an earlier one, organized by the Foundation in New York in April, this past April, as part of our October 2013 Recharging the Youth initiative, and aims to further discuss, debate, explore, and understand the different ways to help Greece's younger generations, which are severely impacted by the alarmingly high unemployment rate in the country, by creating new employment opportunities and a better employment environment for everyone. The very notion of philanthropy, of helping one's fellow human beings, entails, by definition, a complex set of ethical questions and concerns, which all of us that are privileged enough to have been given the opportunity to offer a helping hand and to try to have an impact encounter constantly. The second day explores the issue of philanthropy and ethics, focusing, among other things, on volunteerism and the potential conflicts entailed in the interaction between the public and the private sector. Many of you attended last night a special performance at the Stavros Niarchos Foundation Cultural Center construction site. This is the foundation's single largest gift, and it includes new buildings for the Greek National Opera and the National Library of Greece, as well as the Stavros Niarchos Park, a vast green space surrounding this complex. The project is a testament of our continuing commitment to Greece's future, and a manifestation at the same time of our deep belief on the significant impact and civic importance of cultural projects such as the Stavros Niarchos Foundation Cultural Center. The desire to continue addressing and understanding the integral role of arts and culture in the social and economic life of communities has motivated the third and concluding theme of this year's conference: arts and culture, creative assets, and their socio-economic importance. The entire conference is being live-streamed on the Foundation's website, snf.org, where all conference-related material and videos will be available starting tonight. There is Wi-Fi service available in the rooms throughout the conference venue, and we encourage you to share the dialogue through your social media channels as well. Finally, on my end, please note that all excess food from today's and tomorrow's lunches and coffee breaks will be donated to organizations in need through our grantee, Boroume.
Thank you, Lenia, and thank you for your very kind words. Dear friends and colleagues, good morning and welcome to this year's conference. Well, one must never forget that someone at some point has to thank the one that thanks everybody else. I'm delighted to be able to do so. Undoubtedly, there are many people who have done a lot of work in order for this gathering to be organized and to be organized well. But there is someone in the middle of it all who keeps it all together. I would like to thank my dear friend and colleague, Lenia Vlavianou, for everything that he's done in order for all of us to be here today. She's the one who keeps all the different planets involved in this project in orbit. There are many of them, and they have a tendency to collide. She does it with hard work, as well as a lot of grace, leadership, and of course, an impeccable sense of style, which is always very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Stelios.
On July 22nd, 2003, Zel Kravinsky, a self-made, wealthy real estate entrepreneur, embarked upon what would be considered by many as an extraordinary act of courage and the ultimate manifestation of altruism, and by many others at the same time as an extraordinary act of selfishness and the ultimate manifestation of madness. On that very day, Zel Kravinsky continued his lifelong quest to give away things by walking into the Albert Einstein Medical Center in Philadelphia and becoming a so-called non-directed kidney donor. On that very day, Zel Kravinsky had an operation to donate his kidney to a total stranger, a 29-year-old African-American woman who had been undergoing dialysis for 8 years. As a matter of fact, Kravinsky had learned of the recipient's name only a few hours before the operation. This was not all, however. Before reaching the zenith of his quest to achieve altruistic excellence, Zel Kravinsky had given away his entire $45 million real estate fortune to a variety of charitable organizations supporting different causes. We can, of course, debate Kravinsky's act of a radical altruism or philanthropy forever. But debating whether Kravinsky's charitable acts are expressions of selfishness or of altruism and goodness is not the point of the story. Radical acts, such as Kravinsky's, get us out of our comfort zone by creating a framework that forces us and allows us at the same time to stand outside ourselves and to stare deep into things. There are a lot of philanthropic organizations and philanthropic-minded individuals in this room today. that do a lot of substantial and important work that benefits a lot of people around the world. But no matter how much we do, we should not stop considering the question of whether or not it is enough. The magnitude of today's challenges and needs make it imperative that we do so. Ethically speaking, we tend to let ourselves off the hook because of all that we do. Kravinsky's radical philanthropy challenges our sense of satisfaction and innocence. It forces us to keep ourselves and consider the needs of others first. As Kravinsky said to Ian Parker in a New Yorker article, "What I aspire to is ethical ecstasis, ecstasis, standing outside of myself where I had lost my punishing ego. It's tremendously burdensome to me. Once this is achieved, the significant locus will be the sphere of others, not me anymore." As we embark on a two-day journey that will lead us, hopefully, in a serious conversation about the work we do as philanthropic institutions and its implications, it is important, I believe, to keep in mind some of the questions that Kravinsky's radical philanthropy raises. Thank you. A couple of quick announcements before we start. Just in case some of you decide to leave before we lock the doors and you cannot do so any longer, next year's conference will take place on June 25th and 26th, Thursday and Friday again. We do not know of the exact theme at this time, but one of the themes will be philanthropy and the environment. I also want to remind you that at the end of each plenary session, there will be a set of questions, and you will have an opportunity to vote for certain answers. So if you have not done so already, please pick up your voting tablets outside to the left of the door. Finally, in the bag that you got today, there is a small book volume there of posters on the theme of philanthropy. This is the outcome of a work that my dear friend Victor Cohen did at the School of Visual Arts in New York, where he asked his graduating class of students to prepare a series of posters based on the theme of philanthropy. What the students did, they selected certain quotes from famous authors, and they had to match the image with the words. I will encourage you to take a look at it. It is a wonderful effort and a great opportunity to see how people from different cultures perceive the very concept and notion of philanthropy today. Thank you.
And before we ask our co-president, Mr. Dracopoulos, to come to the stage for the introductory remarks, we would like to also mention that following the introductory remarks, Mr. Haris Makriniotis, the Managing Director of Endeavour Greece, will present a project that was funded by the Stavros Niarchos Foundation and resulted in a study titled Creating Jobs for Youth in Greece. And with this, we would like to invite to the stage Mr. Andreas Dracopoulos, co-president of the Stavros Niarchos Foundation, to offer the conference's opening remarks. Thank you.